Hi, how are you? My name is Houston, and welcome back to another video. Real briefly, I just want to say thank you for the response on the last video. It's really cool to talk about the things that I love, like manga or any other interests that I have, because I do have a lot of interests that span across a very wide range of topics. And for that to be received so well by other people, or for them to respond positively, like in kind or just in general, it really does feel good. And it's very reinforcing for me when it comes to making these videos and just, talking about the things that I love. And there's a lot of beauty in just sharing things. And I think that when we are open and vulnerable, and like I've said many times before, uh, people respond really well to that. So, as a lesson from that last video and maybe any other video that I ever release, just always remember to put yourself out there and never be ashamed of the things that you love, because without those things, what's the point? Now, look, I know what you might be thinking. Hey, man, I thought that you were going to finish Death's Door. And look, I will, okay? Or at least I'll try my hardest to. But for the past week or so with my buddies, I have been getting back into Monster Hunter. And I gotta say, man, it's pretty addicting. I don't know why I stopped playing this game back in the day when it came out, like 2018, because I put like 30 hours into it. And I'm gonna guess that a new Call of Duty came out and it just pulled me away from it because the FPS slop rot is so real. That being said, I'm now at like 55 or 60 hours because I've just been grinding away. I didn't even finish the story the first time I did it, but god damn, dude, it feels so good to play this game again. And I would have never thought to like get back into it until my friends were talking about Monster Hunter Wilds, which is coming out next week. And I was like, damn, I should really play Worlds. But what really sparked that actually wasn't me thinking that on my own. It's that some other people in the Discord hadn't played Worlds. And that got me thinking that, oh, well, I never even beat the game. So maybe I can just play with them and then, we can all just work together and I could beat the game. And as it turns out, that just worked out perfectly. So here I am, a longsword gamer. I got this Odogaron armor on, which is sick as hell. Honestly, there are other armor sets that I do like more, but this one, it's just such a good set of armor for using a longsword because of like the sharpening and the crit. And I won't get like crazy into the technical stuff because one, I don't even fully understand it, but I just know what skills work with the weapon that I'm using. Let's just hunt a Odogaron right now, and you can get an idea of the type of beast that I had to destroy in order to get this armor set. I think another big reason that I stopped playing this game was because I was playing it with people, but our schedules just didn't really line up that well. So this is just not that great of a game to play by yourself. I mean, you can play it by yourself. I mean, obviously I'm doing that right now. But there's a lot of, it's a lot more fun to play with other people for sure. I would love to be able to get a full combo off against this thing. See, like one thing about this game that's really cool is that you can like break parts, and like you can take their tail off, or certain parts of a monster are like really vulnerable. And then when you really get the combo for your weapon down, you can do shit like this. See, look, oh, there goes his tail right there. So certain drops are obviously more rare than others, or certain parts that can be dropped by the monsters. And armor sets, they require like certain parts. And yeah, there are a lot of elements about this game that remind me of a game like Destiny. And maybe it's just like the grindy parts about it, because, you know, you go into these like these hunts, which are kind of just like legacy dungeons or raids. I keep stopping my combo like one attack short. Not good. Not very smart. I'm kind of destroying this thing, and I'm just realizing that maybe I should have done a higher rank monster. That EI slash is so sick, especially because there's a part in Kagurabachi right now that that is involving like an EI slash or like that style of swordplay, and so it's just like right at the front of my mind. Yeah, dude, I'm stunning him so easily. Wow, that was so easy. So yeah, slay the monster, or you hunt the monster. And you can also capture them. And if you capture them, it's a little bit more difficult, but you get extra materials. So it's worth it to, you know, go that extra mile. Bought a bunch of those guys. Farmed for this gear right here. Pretty sick. Pretty metal. Very, very weeb-like. Yeah, dude, I'm so hyped for Wilds. It's actually crazy because in the next, like... So this week, Pirate Yakuza comes out, and like I've said in previous videos, I'm getting really into the Yakuza series. So that's Wilds comes out next week, and then in May, I think it is, Elden Ring Night Rain comes out. So a lot of games coming out. Those 3 games alone are probably going to preoccupy the next at least 6 months of my life. I'm not sure what other games I'm going to be playing, but I am really excited to try Night Rain because I didn't get to do the playtest. Looks so cool with like the roguelike elements in it and how fast paced it is. I mean, there's just a pressure to games like that that I think a lot of people just don't really understand until they play those games. Because it's not only a roguelike in the way that, at least from what I can gather from the videos, it has that pressure of like getting the right drops, but it also has that like that ring pressure, like the closing in of the fog or the smoke or the zone. So you have to gamble when you're choosing which bosses to commit time to, because it's like, oh, well, if I can defeat this enemy, then I get another power up for the final boss or for this run. And but if I can't beat him in time, then I kind of lose out, and I probably use heals that I need for the next fight. So yeah, I think trade-offs like that are really cool with games, because you have to think fast. I always forget that these quests just spawn you like right next to the monster. You don't actually have to hunt it, because that's a huge part of this game. Like you have to find tracks or like fur or scales or gashes or things that the monsters leave behind, and then you have to actually track it throughout the level to find it and to like learn more about it, which, you know, I can understand that some people would find that boring and maybe would make the game not worth it for them. And okay, I will admit that sometimes I'm like, dude, fuck this. I don't want to track this monster. Just let me fight it. I just want to swing my giant sword at its face. So I'm totally with you there. But I think that having that in the game sort of immerses you a little bit more. Yeah, man, just keep going that way. That's fine. I don't want to fight in the lava area anyway. Status effects, you know. What's up? See, it's kind of nice when monsters are so big that all their attacks just go like right over my head. Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah, can you not like run into the lava area? That's not cool, dude. And there goes his tail. The cool thing about this game too is that it kind of like has something for everyone, because like, you know, I'm a big sword guy. I like the big swords. But if I was more like a dual blades guy, I could wield those, or I could like use a bow or like a gun of some sort, or a giant hammer. I think there's like 14 or 16 weapons that you can choose from. To add to my last video, I was told by my buddy Fruit that I should check out this series called The Climber. and it's about this, well, climber. Oh, he's asleep now. You know what you do to sleeping monsters? You give them a present. But yeah, so it's a series about a climber who's like depressed, and he basically like finds himself through the activity of climbing, which I find really, really cool. I'm gonna try and trap this guy just for the video. My tranks. Go to sleep, dude. Go to sleep. See? Boom. Now he's asleep. So the climber sounds really interesting to me because I love these stories of, you know, like self-discovery. I love these stories of people who are down on their luck. They feel lost. And they're trying to find their calling, or their calling finds them unexpectedly. I think that's the reason why so many things like Vinland or Berserk, or we're getting really into Vagabond now. I think I'm at like chapter 50 something, and I see why people love that series as much as the other two I mentioned, because like you can feel Musashi's angst. Like you can feel how much he wants to prove himself, and I think that is especially prevalent, or those themes are very powerful, especially for young men, where they feel like they want to be useful to the world, right? In some way of the word, or in some fashion. And I think that these stories are great examples because they show that nothing good is ever going to come easy. And we hear that so much from so many people, but I think it's a lot different to read or watch those stories and to sort of experience it at your own hand, like if you open the book or if you're swiping the manga on like an iPad, than it is for some hustle tech crypto bro to, I don't know, tell you how you need to like grind harder, or tell you how you need to like, you know, fucking sell them a pen or some shit like in Wolf of Wall Street. Like there's a lot to those themes and those practices that is missed by these hustle type people. And all this hustle porn shit is just like, it's setting you up to believe that you're indestructible, like you're infallible. But the thing is that you are going to go through life and you're going to keep stumbling. Even though you might figure it out at some point, you're always going to run into another point or another event that trips you up. And that's okay. And learning how to navigate those situations is the thing that will really get you to, for lack of a better word, enlightenment. The only reason that's at the forefront of my mind is because I've read that that's sort of Musashi's path in Vagabond. Like he slowly becomes more enlightened, whatever you might get from that word. So just to show you like all the other things that you can run as a hunter in this, you know, you got great sword, long sword, dual blades, a horn, you got bows, bow guns, switch axe, a lance, insect glaive, tons of stuff that you can choose from. It looks like there are 14, so plenty of different play styles, so many different types of armor styles, from a medieval knight to whatever the hell that is. You can be Assassin's Creed, you can be this guy, you can be a Junta from Bloodborne, you can be this guy, you can do this, which is, I actually bought this set at one point. You can be a Russian, you can be a giant ball of hair. So many cool things to choose from, to grind for. I mean, dude, you could sink hundreds and hundreds of hours into this game. I'm not saying you should, but you could if you really wanted to. I mean, I know some guys with like 1,000 hours on this game, but I also know some guys with like 2,000 hours on Destiny 2, which is another super grindy game. Not a bad thing. I'm just saying that there's like infinite potential, and I don't even know how much stuff is on offer for Wilds. So yeah, I would assume that it's like this game, but you know, cranked to 11. All in all, I just wanted this video to be pretty much about Monster Hunter because it's something that I've really been enjoying lately, and it just goes back to what I was saying at the beginning, where yeah, dude, I just want to share things. You know, I just want to share what I'm enjoying, and hopefully that resonates with people in some way, because life's just better when you're sharing things with people. The author of Atomic Habits, which is probably like the greatest selling self-help book of like all time, James Clear. And he has a newsletter that he comes out with every week called 321, and it's 3 ideas from him, 2 quotes from other people, and 1 question to ask yourself. And it comes out on Thursdays today. And the first idea is something that I found just really nice. Really nice to think about, and I think something that would be really cool to implement. It's spend today interpreting whatever people do in the most generous way. See if you feel better as a result. I think with a lot of toil, a lot of animosity in the world right now, especially on the internet. I know the internet's not real life, but a lot of the time it can feel like it is. When you go about trying to interpret things with, rose-colored glasses, or just in a generous way, like not interpreting things like everybody is out to get you or everybody is the most evil person on the planet, kind of like Hanlon's razor. Hanlon's razor is basically never attribute to malice what is often attributed to stupidity, or what can be attributed to stupidity. And it's not that everybody is stupid, but it's very often that most people aren't out to get you, they just don't know any better. And I think that that can help you kind of navigate the world in a way where you can be a little bit more generous with how you interpret things. I've just been thinking a lot, especially as this year started, about how I can not like fully disconnect from the news, but disconnect in a way where if I find myself deep diving on somebody's account because they said something stupid, or they're promoting like really inflammatory ideas, I just try and catch myself, and I'm like, what am I doing, man? I'm just like injecting my mind with poisonous ideas. And so instead of like trying to spend a bunch of my time trying to change people's minds on the internet, which I don't really try and do much these days, but indirectly I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, this person has lost their mind. Like, what is going on? So instead of thinking of that, I try and redirect a lot of that energy into my relationships, my friendships, my relationship with my girlfriend, or just like the things around me, the things in my immediate vicinity, because I know that that's the stuff that's really going to make the difference for me. And that's the stuff that I'm just really going to feel on a more personal level. So yeah, my advice to you for this video would be to maybe try and do the same, like try and take yourself out of those situations where you feel yourself become like, maybe not enraged, because maybe you won't get to that point, but just you feel like you're taking crazy pills. Like you feel like you're just getting gaslit by the toxicity of the internet, or of like by somebody's TikTok or something like that. And just try and take a couple steps away and be like, okay, the world might seem fucking insane, but maybe it's not as insane as this content is making me feel like it is. Yeah, redirect that into something that's like right in front of you, because I think that you will probably, at least in my experience, this is how I felt, but you will probably feel way better. As always, I appreciate you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.